Y'all look, I was in here in the kitchen picking up stuff, right? And what came to my mind was, how many ways can you fix beans and rice? How many ways can you fix beans and rice? Y'all come on in here. Welcome, come on in. Welcome to my channel. This is Marietta. I thank God for each and every one of you. Thank God for all my new subscribers, all my day ones. Y'all know how I feel about y'all. But can y'all please type it in the comments. Tell me, what are you about ready to make on a budget with this beans and rice, and how many ways can you fix beans and rice? It looks to me like this is about ready to be the American diet. This is what we're going to have to eat. We're going to have a lot of gas and we're going to have a lot of carbs, but we're going to be a full belly. You know, when I think about beans and rice, and I think about back in the day how Mama used to take these beans and rice. God rest her soul, she done gone on to be with the Lord now, but she used to take these same navy beans and she would add ham hock, she would add beans and dumplings, she would add beans and chicken, beans and turkey. And when you come down to these black beans right here, we had so much beans over top of rice over the years that I was sick of beans and rice. And just to know that now this is getting ready to be the American delicacy. This is what your meal is getting ready to consist of. Sometimes you may not even have no meat. Sometimes you may not even have the beans. You might just have the rice. And if you don't start preparing your house right now for what you want to eat and how you prepare, how you're going to prepare these beans and rice, how you're going to be able to open these cans when you begin to realize that this is what your diet is getting ready to look like. Beans and rice, beans and rice. I remember back in the day, if you showed up with just beans and rice, they think something was wrong with you. Not knowing this used to tighten your belly down and have you sleeping good at night. You would sleep real good when you ate these beans and rice. But to know now in this day and time, it's not that you just want to eat beans and rice. You may have to resort to that. Maybe all you have is beans and rice. If you don't start to prepare your house now for what you're going to eat and how you're going to eat it. What type of meat are you going to put in this beans and rice? How are you going to protect that meat from getting spoiled? How are you going to run this very big box that you call a refrigerator when these things begin to break down or we begin to only have this on your plate? How do you feel? Start putting some of this on your plate now and see if it changed the way you feel. Some of you going to feel neglected. Some of you going to feel disrespected. Some of you going to feel like you so used to eating caviar and steak and filet mignon and crab legs that you don't understand that stuff is off the market right now because of the fact that they may not be able to get it in and you haven't stocked enough of it for you to be able to live. So when it comes down to it, this is what we may end up with. This may end up being the new delicacy. Beans and rice. Beans and rice. Everybody is saying stack your bug out bags full of beans and rice. Why? Why just beans and rice? Why do you think you just need beans and rice? Why does beans and rice need to go in your bug out bag? What is the purpose of having beans and rice? Beans and rice is a good filler. It will fill that belly, especially if you got children. If you got children, you need to have as many different types of beans, different flavored beans, 5-bag beans with different beans in the bag, all kinds of beans, all kinds of canned beans. If you don't know how to cook these beans right here out this bag like this, you don't know how to wash them, you don't know how to season them, you don't know how to soften them up, you don't know how to pre-cook them, you don't know how to blanch them. If you don't know how to do none of that, get yourself different kinds of canned beans, from lima beans to soup beans to string beans to black beans. Make sure you got some beans on board that will help you tighten that belly down. There's going to be a lot of gas going on in the house. It may be a lot of gas going in the house, but I guarantee you will not be hungry. If you take them beans and you put them over top of that rice, you take these beans and you begin to make some biscuits. If you don't have much meat to put in these beans alone is a good protein, and they will fill that belly. They will quiet that storm within you and your children. That house will be comfortable. Learn how to be able to fix these beans in different ways. Start thinking about recipes. If it's so you don't have no electric, if it's so you don't have no internet, how are you planning to make these beans? Do you know how to put them together? Do you know what to do with them? If you haven't freezed any green peppers and onions, you haven't grown any green peppers and onions to be able to cut up in these beans to make them different, make them taste different, you haven't stored up those seasonings, you need to start getting this stuff now, because this may be your meal of choice. I don't want you to look back on this video and say, well, you know, this lady told us that we need to learn how to prepare these beans in so many different ways so that they won't be bland, so that you won't be just eating the same thing every single night, and your family won't get tired of you and your beans. So let me tell y'all something. I'm going to make sure that I got at least 2 5-gallon buckets full of beans and rice. Because if me and my son get hungry, or you may have to feed somebody else, you may not be just for you. These black beans right here, I eat these all the time. I like them with corn. I like them just by themselves. I like them with some pico de gallo, with some corn and some guacamole on these beans. I put in my salad. I put these beans in some of everything because they do fill me up. And I'm not just waiting until something happens to eat them. I eat them anyway. That way I'm already used to them. So if you're not used to eating like this, your kids have never been introduced to this because all you've been giving them is McDonald's, and you've been giving them Hardee's and Burger King and fast food and nuggets and pizza, and they don't know what this is. It's time for you to make a hot bowl of beans. It's time for you to make a hot plate of beans. It's time for you to put some dumplings in them beans. It's time for you to bake some chicken and give them a bowl of beans with some biscuits. It's time for you to give them some of them beans and rice. It's time for you to put these meals together and to begin to teach them how to eat at home, because a lot of y'all are going to catch it with these kids because you're also used to feeding them out at these fast food restaurants. When you begin to make this right here, I don't want that, you're going to get a lot of pushback from them very kids. They get hungry enough, they'll eat them. But before then, there's going to be a lot of storms if you don't start introducing them into their meals slowly now. Slowly now. Even if you got to take these beans and grind them up and mash them up. Turn them into a dip. But teach them how to eat. Make them into a taco salad. Teach them how to eat these items right here. Start teaching them now. Nobody's talking about this, but God knows you need to talk about it. You need to teach these kids now, because we're living with a generation that are not used to eating this way. A lot of them are not used to eating this way. They don't understand. So before you have a problem in your house, teach your kids why we're getting ready to eat like this. Teach them exactly the nutritional value in this. Teach them so that when they get to a place where they may have nothing in the house left but this, your house won't be full of chaos. And they will know how to eat. They'll know why you're eating it. That's why I say share these times with your children. Share these times with your children and let them know exactly how good these beans are. Because truly, if you cook these beans right, these are some good beans. These navy beans, these black beans, some lima beans, some soup beans, some lentils. You got to start introducing them to this stuff now. Don't just spring it on them, and start introducing it into them, with them right now. Start baking your turkey wings and give them a bowl of beans with them. Change their meals up right now. We're so used to eating like turkey wings and mac and cheese and sweet potatoes and greens and this and other thing. Start adding these beans on that plate. Start fixing some beans and rice. And start letting them know that this is getting ready to be part of our dinner. Because I'm trying to tell y'all now, right now it don't look good for us. It don't look good for us. It looks like we need to get them bug out bags, and we need to get our bug out buckets, and we need to get them stacked and get them stacked right now and get them stacked to a place where you will be able to survive and that you will have food. This is not something that's going to scare y'all. A lot of y'all saying, oh, they're just saying all that and they're overreacting and they're just trying to scare us. It's better you not need it and have it than for you to need it and don't have it. Because they said we was overreacting back in 2020. They remember we was overreacting then too. And then we needed all the stuff that we thought we weren't going to need. Then all of a sudden the bottom fell out of things. And then the people were in a panic and people were rushing trying to get things. I'm encouraging you now. It's not going to hurt you to go to your Lowe's, your Home Depot, and get yourself a vacuum sealed bucket. A bucket with a good rubber seal on it. And start putting these things in that bucket and get yourself a bug out bucket ready. So that you'll have these things right here, these staple pieces. These are staple pieces whether you know it or not. These will fill your belly when you ain't got nothing else. So with that being said, I just wanted to make this short video because I got to thinking about it while I was in here wiping my kitchen down, and I got to thinking about when I was moving this stuff around, these beans and this rice. Is this what the American people now have resorted to as being our staple meal? Beans and rice. I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. Enjoy the rest of your night.